Yo, I got the MPC X and the MPC X Special Edition both sitting right here, and today we're gonna see if 2 gigs really matters. Let's get it.
Mini clip.
What's up? This is the Kingo Caesar bringing you unboxings, tutorials, and gear reviews just like this one. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing and slap that bell notification button like this guy.
What's going on here?
Oh, sir, I'm arrested.
Yeah, he knows how to slap something. So there's been a lot of conversation in the MPC space whether the MPC Special Edition with its 4 gigs is any different or better than the MPC X with its 2 gigs. Now, I got a chance to talk to Andy Mack for a brief second, and he did confirm to me that the MPCs always had a quad-core processor. So for everybody who was telling me that they always came with a quad-core processor, you guys were right and I was wrong, but we still got 2 gigs extra of RAM right here on the MPC X SE or Special Edition. So we're going to do some tests and see whether this makes a difference or not when it comes to like the tasks that you do with the MPC X or not. Let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these on and see how long it takes both of these to boot up. And I'm going to do it at the same time so that you can see in real time how long it takes for each one of them to turn on.
Hey, what same time, bro? I don't know you, man. Same time. I don't know you. Okay. Same time.
As you seen right there, the MPC X actually beat the MPC X SC on, which is kind of different because when I first ran these tests off camera, the MPC X SE was way faster than the MPC X, the original. Let's take the drives off and see if that makes a difference. Here we go. See, this is what I was talking about straight out the box. The MPC X SE seems to be loading up way faster than the MPC X original. So what I think is going on is that the MPC XE came with more storage. So all the virtual instruments and all that and the content was actually loaded onto the MPC X preloaded, but not for the MPC X because it didn't come with that stuff. So I have all the virtual instruments and content on this hard drive that's over here. So what I think is happening is that the original MPC X is trying to find the software and all that stuff that's located on this hard drive, and because it can't, it's taking a little bit longer to boot up. And then that's where I get that error message that we had on the top saying that splice and different stuff is not located. So I think that's the reason. So I'm going to turn these off. I put the drives back in and we're going to see one more time. They basically both turned on almost at the same time, with the MPC X being just a tad bit faster than the MPC X Special Edition. No real change there. Very surprising. Now you guys all know that in standalone mode, you can only add up to 8 plugins on either device while it's in standalone mode. So since we have the Fabric XL and we know that it is CPU and memory intensive, it's the biggest plugin that we have on the MPCs on standalone, we're going to load up 8 instances and see where the memory and the CPU usage is just based off of loading 8 plugins of Fabric XL. Let's do it. We're going to start with the MPC XE first. So on the MPCs, you can set like your default plugin. So my default plugin is the Fabric XL. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this plus button until it tells me that I can't add any more instances of the plugin. So here we go. Okay, right here, if you can see that, it says maximum number of plugin programs have been reached. This operation was not successful. So right here, we have 8 instances of Fabric XL on the MPC XE. And it seems like it's good. Let's see what the CPU usage is. So we got 5% roughly on the CPU on the MPC Special Edition. And the memory is at 63%. Let's try the same thing on the MPC X, the first one. Go to plugins. Then we got the Fabric XL set as the default, and we're just going to hit the plus sign. Okay, right here it says plugin failed to load correctly. So right there, we ran into a problem with the memory right there. Because as you see, I have it on plugin 7 and there's no plugin there. We're going to go back. We only get 6 instances of Fabric XL on the MPC X. It won't let us put any more than 6 of the Fabric XL on the original X. Let's see what the CPU and memory usage is. Right here, we see that we got 5% CPU usage right here. And then the memory is at 86%. And we're getting a low memory warning saying that our memory is low. Save project now or you may lose unsaved progress. So you've seen what the CPU and the memory usage was off the jump, just adding these plugins in, and we haven't even added any MIDI data, anything to these. So I have a project that I created for this video, and it's using all 8 instances of Fabric XL. I created this on the MPC Special Edition. So I'm going to load this up, and we're going to take a look at the CPU usage and the memory and see if it's gone up at all. And I put this project on a flash drive because when I loaded it into the X, I didn't want it to be any different speed than when I loaded it into the SE, because the drive speeds does matter. And I think that's one of the reasons why the MPC X takes longer to boot up, because I don't think these hard drives that are in the MPCs are solid state drives, because if they were, they would cut on way quicker. It would probably almost be instant, like some of the new computers that we have. But I don't know for sure. That's just me speculating just based off the knowledge I know about computers and drives. So take it with a grain of salt. I've been wrong before. We all know that. So here we are with this project. And on this project, I have 10 tracks on here. Now I have 1 drum track that I did, and then 8 instances of Fabric XL. You'll see it go all the way up to 9, showing the Fabric XL. And then I have 1 more track, which is a bass key group. So now we're going to take a look at the CPU usage of just the MIDI data and the project as it is without playing. I didn't put any plugins or any instances of effects on any of these drums, on any of these plugins, because I wanted it to be raw.
Horse.
The only thing I did was go in there and level the beat and pan some stuff so it didn't sound like complete trash, but I didn't put anything else other than that. Everything is bone dry. These are the plugins straight from factory. So right here we can see that we have 5%, 6% CPU usage on the MPC X SE, and we got 64% on the memory like we had before. So that's the same. So let's play this. Now, you guys hear the beat. We're going back into the CPU usage. Right now we see it's between 35 and 39% on the CPU, and we got still 64% on the memory. So that's still pretty good. We got a little bit of headroom to still work with, and the CPU is not maxed out. So we can still do more if we wanted to with the MPC X or Special Edition. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this project out and I'm going to put it on the MPC X and see if it even loads up, because we've seen that we could only load 6 instances of Fabric XL. So we're going to check this out and see if this project even loads on the MPC X. Now, right off the back, it gave me a low memory warning. And then it said one plugin failed to load, Fabric XL. So let's go to the beginning. So we're missing 2 tracks of the Fabric XL. That's not on here. So let's see where the CPU usage is. We're at 87% and 6%. Now it seems like it doesn't allow the memory to go past 90% on these units, because I haven't seen it go past 90% yet. We've always been in the high 80s. Right now we're on 87% in here, and it didn't load 2 instances of Fabric XL. Let's see which ones we're missing. So, yep, we're missing the horns, and we're missing another one of the synths. So while we're out here, I'm gonna bring out my stopwatch, and we're gonna calculate and see how long it takes to bounce a sequence. So we're gonna bounce this sequence to a sample. Okay, so that took about 7 seconds to do that on the MPC X. So now, since we're here, I'm just going to take this project and I'm going to create 5 sequences and see how long it takes to bounce the project. So now we have 5 sequences of this beat. We're going to go into menu. We're going to go on the song. So all we did was put all these sequences in here. And I'm going to convert the sequence. Okay, so we're going to see how long it takes to bounce down these 5 sequences on the MPC X. So we're going to go to menu, we're going to go to save, and then we're going to go to audio mix down. And we're just going to keep everything standard, and we're just going to hit export. Oops, got to name it. We're going to put it in the flash drive, and we're going to save. Okay, so that was about 8 seconds. Okay, I was a little slow on the what's the name, but it took 8 seconds to bounce off 5 sequences into a song. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it back over to the MPC XE, and we're going to take a look at that. So now we got the MPC XE, and we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to see how long it takes to bounce this sequence into a sample. So it took about 7 seconds too, a little slow on the stop as well. So that's really no difference. We're going to go back in here and we're going to do the same thing with the sequences. We're going to create 5 sequences. We're not going to really change it up. We're just going to create 5 sequences and see how long it takes to bounce into a song. We're going to do sequence, do it, sequence, do it. So now I have 5 sequences. We're going to go back in. We're going to go to song mode. We're going to insert 5 sequences, change them up. We got one right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to convert this to a sequence, do it, which is pretty instant. We're going to go to number 6, and then we're going to bounce this sequence. Save, audio mix down, export. We're going to do this to the, we're going to change this to 2. So it doesn't overwrite the other one. So then now we're going to start. Oh, shoot. I'm going to try to catch it and make sure that I'm getting the accurate number. So once I go over this content, I'm going to look and see, try to see exactly where it was at. But I think that was around 8 seconds like the MPC X, the original. So when it comes to exporting and converting things into samples and stuff like that, you're really not getting any difference when it comes to the MPC X SE versus the MPC X original. The biggest thing that I see right now is just when it comes to the plugins. So in conclusion, what do I think? I think having 2 gigs of extra RAM does make a difference, especially if you're a producer that uses a lot of plugins. There's really like not a whole lot of limitations, but if you want that super quick workflow like you have in a DAW where you don't have to do that with the plugins, then buying one of these machines might not be for you. But for your MPC lovers, And if you're a sample-based producer, either one of these will get you to where you want to be. It's just if you want to use more plugins, I think the MPC X SE is the way to go. So remember though, if you use these things in controller mode, you're going to unlock the full potential of both of these machines. Now in standalone mode, the MPC is one of the best devices that you can get on the market to date. But in the future, they're definitely going to have to upgrade the specs and probably the RAM and things like that inside these things, because now they are competing with devices like the iPad, and Apple just announced that they're putting the full-fledged Logic Pro DAW on the iPad. Now, are these devices going to make the MPC obsolete? Absolutely not, because there's no other device that gives you that MPC feel and has the type of power that these things do. These are some of the best standalone units on the market to date, and I stand on that. There's nothing like an MPC to me. And I'm actually a producer that comes from working in the box with like FL Studio, Logic Pro, Pro Tools. I came from the box and I switched over to MPC just because I love the feel of the pads. This was just a quick comparison of the MPC X versus the MPC X SE. I do have more videos on my channel with unboxings, gear reviews, and tutorials just like this one. So if you guys want to check them out, I have it linked in this card up here. You guys stay safe, be blessed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.